is Tuesday Talks at 10:30, where I come to you every Tuesday at 10:30, and we just talk about things that, pop into my head, or talk about things that need to be, talked about, the things that need to be said or conveyed or felt. So, as you all know, I am an evidential medium, child of God, spiritual healer, and I have the ability to channel spirit using love and light for my higher good and the higher good of those that God puts in my path. I'm not the medium that says, I see death all around you and you're going to be dead in 10 days. My gift, my prayer, is always that God and spirit and angels bring in the most loving message to help your spirit heal. So this is not an angel card reading. It's been a while since I've done one of those, so I need to pop one of those on here in the evenings. This is not a reading. This is Tuesday Talks. So we're going to talk about random words that make you think. So first of all, I wanted to just kind of do my little commercial here. So I do have some upcoming things. So August 15th is a Zoom gallery. So you all have been on me for quite a while to do a Zoom gallery reading. And we've put one together with Rose Claire, but I don't have very many people signed up. And I am of the thought process that whoever signs up needs to be there. So it is in the link. It is on connecting for the event. So if you want to join the gallery, I know it's the first one, so it might be a little wonky. Come and join us. Otherwise, it'll just be a small group and everybody will get a reading, and that's cool too. So August 26th and 27th, I will be in Bel Air, Maryland, and then back September 23rd and 24th, doing private readings as well as intimate group readings. Starting in September, I am joining forces with Rose Claire, and we are putting together a Divine Empowerment Circle. So there'll be more about that. I know it's August, but hopefully we'll get that together. It's been kind of crazy. And then the Only a Whisper Away Women's Retreat in October 16th through the 19th in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. So it's not just a grief retreat. It is a retreat where women gather together and we grow and we learn. We're going to talk about energy and past life regressions, and we're going to do a past life regression. There's going to be a full moon release. It's 3 nights and 3 days. It's very cost effective, but why don't you join us in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee? Eventually, I will figure out how to do a co-ed retreat, but for right now, we're just doing a women's retreat. But come and join us. You have plenty of downtime so that you can go and see the sights. And then I've got a big announcement coming up fairly soon, but we're not going to announce that yet. So that is the women's retreat. Everything is under events or on my Facebook group, on the social medias, on the website, connectingtospiritwithstacy.com. Join us, won't you? Okay. Feel free to share the group, share experiences. We're doing some other things with shared experiences coming up. So hang with me. All right. I'm kind of all over the place. I had a little bit of technical problems, so we are via phone, which is fine. Fine. So I've been doing Tuesday Talks at 10:30 for not quite 4 years. It was before the pandemic started, where I would go down to into Baltimore and we would do that. And as the pandemic came, I started doing the lives. And I want to talk to you about how I come up with these messages. So a lot of times the night before, I will ask my guides, ask God, ask Spirit, ask my loved ones, what do you want me to talk about today? And inevitably, I get some sort of a message to talk about. So the past couple days, this past week, I have been working with prompt cards. Now, as an evidential medium, I work with oracle cards and angel cards and energy cards and different things to get different messages. Well, I've been using the Prompt Me books and what are they called? The Storymatics. I already have 2 books out. I'm working on a few other ones. So I wanted to practice writing in another thought process, basically. So I wanted to pull words this week, and it prompted me a memory, it prompted me a thought, and then I would just write for a few minutes. And I came up with these like 10 different storylines, which was kind of cool. So as I was thinking about this, I thought, I use cards all the time. Why not use the Storymatic cards, the Prompt Me cards, to talk about Tuesday Talks with you all? So that's what I did. So I pulled some cards, and they're writer's cards. So the cards that I pulled were mail carrier. Sorry, it's backwards. Person with hidden talents. Photo album. First night alone. And sudden return of a memory. So, wow. Aren't those awesome cards? And of course, my mind goes in several different places with each and every card, but I needed to put all of them together. So I had so many flashes in my mind, what you're manifesting, what old photographs look like and how they feel and how they smell, what a mail carrier does, who is a person who has hidden talents, and a return of a hidden memory or a forgotten memory. So I started thinking about grief, of course. I talk about death a lot because I deal with grief and mourning and death with all of my clients. And that's kind of the realm I'm in, and I know it may sound a little morbid sometimes, but I speak about it so much because I want this healing process to take place. I don't want there to be a fear of death. I don't want you to be anxious for death. But I want you to know that your loved ones are still with you on the other side. Sorry, they're mowing, so hopefully that doesn't cause a big distraction. So I want you to think back, if you will, to a time when you lost someone. And I want you to allow yourself to kind of breathe and think in your mind of that first night alone. After you got the news of this person passing. I want you to think about all the emotions that you went through. And there's a flood of emotions. Sometimes we just kind of sit still and we're frozen in time, like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Other times, all these flashbacks and all these emotions and all these memories come back. So the process in grief is the adjustments. Your day was going a certain way, and all of a sudden, there was a big stop sign that said, a loved one has passed. And a lot of times in that process, after you hear, what's one of the first things that you do? You grab a photo album and you go through the pages and you run your hands over their face and you look in their eyes and you go back to that memory and you page through it slowly, and it transports your mind, your memory, your being back to that event. It's like a special delivery from a mail carrier. It's that spiritual mail carrier that from your loved one, from that they say, hey, pick up this photo album, or hey, remember this memory. I truly believe our loved ones send us different messages at different times. And I know I've heard from you all about different things that you've gotten as messages, and you claim them as messages, and you ask for more, and you get more signs and things. So we hear conversations from that day, and we remember where we were, what we were doing, maybe how the air smelled or felt. And you look in the eyes of the other person who is in the photo, and in your soul, in your spirit, this person not only touched my life, but they were also important to this person in the photo. And maybe it was a special event, maybe it was a birthday party, maybe it was a trip that you went on. You think about, I always, look at the smile, and I try and remember the laugh that they had and how it felt when they laughed. you don't have to have, where is it? A special talent. I don't know where that, oh, yep. Person with hidden talent. You don't have to have a hidden talent. You don't have to have a special talent in order to connect with those memories, in order to connect with your loved one on the other side within yourself. Talk to them. Have these conversations with them, and allow yourself to jump into that photo, basically. You may notice things in that photo that you've never seen before. You might think, I don't ever remember seeing that scar. I wonder what that scar came from. I wonder what they were talking about. I see this picture and I know the exact story that they were talking about. And I know a lot of you are thinking, hold on. Well, Stacy, people really don't use photo albums anymore. Everything's on the phone. Everything's on the computer, right? But the cool thing about technology is when you pull that picture up, what can you do? Right? You can make that photo larger. You can crop it. You can change the filters in it. And when you enlarge the photo, it's almost like sometimes I feel like I'm jumping into the photo, and I'm gotten all these memories, all these forgotten memories. But you jump into the photo with this person. Hold on, I lost my train of thought. So your phone that you carry with you is like a little time machine. This time machine transports you back into the times when they were with you, and those good memories that you have, and the stories that you can tell others about them. And here's the thing, there's no timeline on mourning, but maybe, if you do this exercise and you look at these photos and you allow yourself to go back in those dreams, back into those memories, it will help you with your first night alone, or your second night, or your third night, or your first month, or week, or year. There is no timeline on grief, but it's allowing that loving message to come through to you through these pictures, and you're going to laugh, and you're going to smile, and you're going to cry when you're looking at these. But remember, those tears, those are just those loving emotions of how much you cared for this person. So how many times have you seen the quote or something on Facebook that I wish that heaven had a phone because I want to call you? Well, I believe that our thought is that thought mail, that phone call to our loved one. We think about it. We send that vibration to our loved one. Good morning, good morning. We allow ourselves a moment to take a breath and have a conversation with them. And what I mean is, when you gather, how do you want me to say that? When you gather small moments, small snippets of time, you remember what they sound like. You remember how they smell. You remember certain memories. And this is your spiritual mail, right? Your spiritual mail carrier. Your loved one is going to send you messages and signs when they know you need it, or when they know that you're ready. And I know a lot of people say to me, I've never gotten a sign, but maybe you've been in such deep mourning and you've been so busy doing different things that you missed it. So when you slow down and you ask your loved one, I need you to send me a sign. I will watch for the sign. And if I miss it, send it to me again. They will. Just notice the signs. Yep. They're spiritual mail carriers. They'll send you songs that will make you think different ways. They'll put different thoughts in your mind. I mean, It's been 10 years since my mom has passed, but all of a sudden, like a memory comes to my mind. Well, who do you think sent that? My mom sent that to me. She sends me signs and symbols. And I have clients that say to me, I talk to them every single day. I speak to them every single day. And I feel their presence. And even on days where I don't feel their presence, I still talk to them every day, or I look at a photo of them. This is a vibrational mail carrier. You're sending your message through your energy, through your vibration to your loved one. It's that conversation with your loved one in spirit. So, grief, there's different waves of grief and different waves of memories of what was. And sometimes you ride the waves, and sometimes you feel like you were drowning in the waves. And Monday, was that yesterday? No. Yes, Monday. I think it was Monday or Sunday. I don't know. I posted this quote that said, "Tell your children that the soil holds the ashes of their grandparents and that the earth is full of lives of their ancestors and that the earth is sacred." I love that. The earth is sacred. And the earth is sacred because our loved ones, those who have gone before us, those who have toiled the land and set the foundation up for our family unit, are there. They're enabling that reharvest of ourselves, of our emotions, of our beings. I love the thought that the earth is sacred. And even if you've never met this ancestor, have you ever heard stories where your mom or your grandmother would say, or it was funny because my Uncle Glenn, and you all have heard me talk about Uncle Glenn, he would always go, "My mother used to say," and I would think to myself, "Your mother, you mean my grandmother?" But I would never correct him. Or "My father used to say," and I'm like, "Oh, that's my poppy." And he would tell me these stories of these things that he did on a farm, and the horse and, with a horse and buggy and, different stories that he had. And that land that he worked still has an imprint of his energy, right? Where he planted things, the things that he touched, the family that was around him, his children, his children's children, his brothers and sisters and their children. And, he is part of my ancestry. He is part of the land that is around us. He used to come to the shop almost every Sunday, and he would sit on the bench. So the steps going up into the shop has his footprints, his energy in it, the bench that he sat in. It's that family foundation that over the years has grown and has evolved from lessons being passed down. And if we are grateful for those things and we remember the things that we had instead of get stuck in that whirlwind of things that we've lost, that will help with grief. So think about the things that you pass down to other generations, whether it be your children or nieces and nephews or, people that you just come in contact with. Think about old sayings or cold remedies or, I remember my ex-mother-in-law, if a black cat would go out in front of her car, she would do 3 X's on the windshield. My grandmother, if I would get a cold, she would take honey and a little bit of lemon with a little bit of bourbon. And, that was part of the tablespoon that you would take, and it would clear up the cold. Think about all these things that have touched your life, all these messages from these different mail carriers, right? You don't need to have a special talent in order to remember these hidden memories. You all have these photo albums in your mind. You all have them on your phone. You all have photo albums. It's going back through them and going back through this time machine. They're still within us because they are part of us, right? They helped us grow. They helped us evolve. They helped us see things in different ways. For those of you who have met my husband, Jeff, you know, he is such a good, he's a good person for me to go to bounce an idea off of, because he will listen, and he, you know, sometimes he, you know, because he has big ideas, and then other times he'll say, "Ooh, hold on, let's pull this back a little bit." You know, when I thought about doing the women's retreat, I had all these huge ideas, and he's like, "Whoa, let's pull this back a little bit." But find someone that can help you pull ideas together and thoughts. Maybe you have a conversation with other relatives or in memories of this loved one. I mean, I have so much, you know, Jeff is so much a part of me, and my kids are so much a part of me, and I've learned so much from them that remembering them, even when they're, you know, still here with me, and going back to certain memories, but they made me who I am, whether they're still here on this earth or in the other realm. Grief is hard. You know, the waves come over us. But if we remember the good memories and the foundation that helped us make us who we are and how we exist, maybe those memories will help that first night alone, or second night, or first year. Maybe it will help you to get through those upcoming nights by going through photo albums, going through the photo albums in your mind. I have the book, My Head Knows But My Heart Still Hurts. Writing. I mean, I've been prompted to write these last couple days, writing stories about your loved one. And it's almost like a love letter to them, where you're writing it down and then you hear how they answer you. But it's this heart, or this album in your heart, that we cherish for the rest of our lives. And one day you will see them again. And these memories will just resurface for other people then. But know that whether it's your first night alone, your 12th year alone, there's a spiritual mail carrier. Your loved one is sending you messages. And you have a vibrational mail carrier that you can speak to them. Picture them, see them, be with them on a spiritual, energetic level. And cherish those. And I don't even want to say to you that you're not cherishing, because I know you cherish every moment that you had with them. I feel like it is invite them, or allow yourself, that's better, allow yourself to be vulnerable enough to be in their spiritual presence, to breathe it in. There's meditations to talk to a loved one in spirit. But then don't let the right and the left brain fight with each other and say, that wasn't real. Allow yourself to know that it is real. And know that as you're going through grief, you will be okay. Even if you're not okay, you will be okay, and you are okay. It's all a part of the life process. Every day that we are here on this earth is a closer day to the day that we pass. So make each and every day count. And maybe you want to get some of these. So it's interesting. So I have an emotional thesaurus that gives you different words, you know, like for gratitude, it gives you different words for it, or feelings of how that is. And then I have a Prompt Me book. And the Prompt Me book, gives you certain words, like I was saying here, that will take me to different memories. And then there's the Storymatic card. There's 6 trillion stories in one little box. But if you fear, or if you're afraid that you are forgetting things, look at certain words and think, how does this word prompt me to think about my loved one who has passed? You know, when I think about the photo album, my mom had so many different photo albums. You know, from the ones that were the black, like construction paper with the little white corners, and you put the black and white photos in there, right? I remember my first night after my mom passed. I remember where I was. I was at my mom's house. I slept on her lazy boy chair, got up the next morning and did certain things. But I remember certain things that happened, like there was this blanket that was wrapped around her legs, and my father took it and he washed it that night, and I was like, oh no, I wanted to keep that. But I thought, you know what, this is something that he needed to do. And after it was washed, I have that blanket. So it's remembering the first night alone. It's knowing that you don't have to have a special talent. I mean, here I am, an evidential medium, saying you don't need to go to an evidential medium to talk to your loved one, to remember your loved one. You can just sit in the quiet and have those memories of them. And those, you'll suddenly have forgotten memories. Certain things will pop up that you're like, oh my God, I haven't thought about that in years. Because your loved one is your spiritual mail carrier. They'll put certain things in your mind. Have you ever been just wandering around, whether it's at a flea market or a restaurant or the grocery store, and out of the corner of your eye, you see someone who has passed. And you're like, oh my God, this happened to my husband and I can't remember, I think we were in Tucson, and there was this man walking towards us. And we both like stopped and looked at each other because he looked so familiar. He looked like one of my husband's best friends that had passed. And I remember saying to my husband, oh, you know what? Ty's here with you. Right there he is. You know, it wouldn't have prompted both of us to be like, oh my gosh. So look for those little messages. You hear a song and, you know, you instantly have a flash in your head of, you know, there's a song, Ring of Fire, that pulls up an instant memory in my head of a woman who passed, gosh, I guess it's been maybe a year ago, you know, and how she would dance. And, you know, there's just certain things that pull those memories. Allow yourself to be vulnerable enough to feel those memories, right? To allow yourself to embrace those memories, because this is that spiritual letter that you're getting from your spiritual mail carrier. So today we talked about words that prompt memories. And as you saw, I took words, just little cards from the Storymatic word prompter that writers use or poets use, or, you know, just to kind of prompt different thoughts. But I want you to think about certain words. Maybe open up a dictionary and, you know, point to a word, and what does that bring to mind? Breathe through that thought. Because, I mean, mail carrier, sudden return of forgotten memory, person with hidden talents, first night alone, photo album. It could have taken me to manifestation. How do we manifest this? It could have taken me to a hiking, camping trip. Yeah, my first night alone in the woods, or, you know, whatever. But because I deal in the realm of spirit and grief, and my clients struggle through grief sometimes, this is what we need to concentrate on. How to make grief easier. It's not going to happen. Grief sucks. Plain and simple. But if you allow yourself to feel it, to ingest it, to walk through it, to look at photos, to think about memories, it may help it be a little bit easier for you. So, those are my words that prompt you to think about certain things. Pull a word. Any word. Here we go. I'm going to pull one of these cards. And then later, send me a message about what you thought about. Okay? So, this says, medicine isn't working. Okay? Medicine isn't working. Think about that. What does that prompt in your head? Write it down. Maybe it will help you work through a negative thought. Maybe it will help you to come out on the other side. Maybe it will help you get anger out. Maybe it will be like, oh my gosh, now I know why this medicine isn't working, because I'm not taking it the way I'm supposed to. Whatever. Okay? But think about those words. What does it prompt you to think about? All right, guys. So this is Tuesday Talks at 10:30. It is 11:11. I love that. Events that are coming up. August 15th, which is, Thursday? I'm doing a gallery Zoom reading with Rose Claire. Get your butts in there. You've been asking me to do this, so click on that event. Buy your ticket. I don't even know. I think it's like 25 or 30 bucks. I don't even know what we put on it. But you'll be sitting with two mediums, giving out messages. August 26th, 27th, Bel Air, Maryland, private readings, intimate group reading. September 23rd and 24th, I think the intimate groups are sold out, but I do have some privates available. We've got announcements starting in September, Divine Sacred Empowerment Circle. And then October 16th through 19th. Come along with me on the Women's Retreat, the Only a Whisper Away Women's Retreat. You're going to have a blast. When women gather together, wild things happen. It's not just a grief retreat. We're going to be learning and growing and leaning on each other and lifting each other up and finding spiritual meaning within ourselves that we never even thought was there. So, all right. We're working on classes. I got a big announcement coming soon. I think that's it. So, as always, I pray that each and every one of you are living the life you love and loving the life you live. If not, you're the only one that can change it. Maybe live word by word. I don't know. Memory by memory. Make memories. Put your energetic blueprint into this world. All right, guys. I'll see you next Tuesday at 10:30. Peace out. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon.